My name is Zanaria Brown, and I have the pleasure of sharing all about bees with Farmer Brown & Co. Myself and my drones over there. I'll tell you what that is. That's Henry Brown, and then I have our baby in the back, Henry III as well. And so we make up Farmer Brown & Co. and we work with bees on a daily. Have you guys been up close to a bee? Any stories of being stung? Cool. So do you manage them as well? Do you have anything that's probably your favorite about having bees on your property? Getting honey? So I have a like and a dislike when it comes to honey because it tastes good, right? It's healthy for us, but then at the end of the day, it's sticky, so it gets messy. So if you're gonna work with bees and eat honey, just be ready for that. All right, to start off, I have a couple of different things that make up beekeeping and some tools that you need, but if it's okay, can I have you guys help today? If that's cool? So, for starters, we're gonna run through what you need to be safe when it comes to beekeeping. Oh, before we go all the way there, just a little bit about Farmer Brown & Co. So we came into beekeeping about 3 years ago. How we got into it, our father was, okay, we have had cows in the past, but we don't have any part of agriculture. What can we do to save money? So he signed up the whole family for bee school. We had no idea. I didn't know that I was going to bee school, so it was just bizarre, exciting. Everything was new to me. Once we got to bee school, we were there for 8 hours. We learned all type of stuff. And the moment I put a bee suit on and got this close to a hive, I realized, okay, I'm not as afraid as I thought I was. So after that day, we pretty much had a mentor, and his name is Wayne Richard. He taught us everything we know, so shout out to him. And here we go. We now do bee removals. We offer bee removals in case someone has bees at their home or at their business or at a place where bees just want to be, but they're not supposed to. We remove them, and then we relocate them and rehabilitate them, bringing them to our mother apiary, which is also known as a bee farm. So that's the service we offer. Then we offer, yes, so speaking of bee removals, this is an example of a bee removal where the bees in the hive fills up this entire piece here. And so like I said, sometimes bees will go into a place where it might not be beneficial to us as humans, but as far as a bee, they found it as a good spot. This here is an example of you providing a mansion, a bee box for some bees, and they build outside of it. Because bees gonna go where bees gonna go. And so there you can see a couple of frames of honeycomb and the bees just on the outside. That's them doing them. All right. Another service we offer is bringing bees to your property. So providing you bees and then managing. And what's your name, sir? Bennett? Yeah, so Bennett has bees on his property. What we do, we will bring bees to your property, and that's just some honey that tipped over. All right. Yeah. We will bring bees to your property and help manage them, and then at the end of the season, there'll be a honey crop, so then we will extract that for you guys. But the purpose of having bees on your property is to save money on your taxes for your land. And that's something you'll worry about once you get older, but I'm sure your parents can appreciate saving a little money here and there. And then another service we offer is teaching classes like this. Another service we offer, the products that comes from bee honey. We sell honey at farmers market. If you guys are ever interested in a summer job or so, there you go. Raise you some bees and sell you some honey. Or lip balm, ladies, gentlemen. Hey, lip balm natural, the naturalist way. Get you some lip balm made from beeswax from our hives. Also, we provide cold pressed juices to our community too. Bees and fruits and vegetables go hand in hand. Yeah, we have regular honey that pours fast. Example over there. And then we have cream honey, which is a thicker consistency that you can spread on toast or, yes, sir? Is it different than whipped honey or is it the same thing? It's a little bit different from whipped honey, but you're on the right track. Have you had it before? Whipped honey, yes. Okay. Do you remember the cinnamon? Yes. That's what I had. Well, the cream cinnamon is what I had this morning in my coffee. And it took me a little minute to stir it in, but it was cool. And then also around the holidays, we have a pecan infused honey where you have the whole chunks of pecan in the honey. People really like that. And we have that cinnamon honey. And we're working on something. We haven't released it to the public yet, but I get to tell you guys because y'all cool like that. We have a blueberry honey blueberry creamed honey that we're working on. So I'm excited about that.
You'll have to ask them questions. Have the expert.
Well, good morning, y'all. Is this everybody?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. It seems y'all already have some questions for me.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I like participation. So one thing I want to say before I get started, the more participation, the more gifts, okay? Of course. Honey straws. Yes, so this is actually a frame that I just extracted from the honey I'll get. Yeah, so it's freshly extracted. You can help me bottle it at the end. Yes, it's at the end. Okay. I'm gonna tell you. So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay. Hey, I was about to say we're off to a good start. So, my name is Henry Brown. I'm the owner of Farmer Brown & Co. What Farmer Brown & Co. is, we are actually a apiary that are we have many locations. We have over 250 beehives. We help people with honey. We do bee removals out of people's houses. We do swarm captures, these educational talks, and all stuff with the bees. Today, we're going to learn about the different parts of the bee. We're going to learn what those crowbars and pointy tools are. We're going to get to try on a bee suit today. And at the end, we are going to bottle some honey, okay?
Farmer Brown & Co. Myself and this gentleman here in the back, his name is Henry. We have a bee company where we rehabilitate bees, meaning we relocate them from people's homes or businesses or places where we might not want bees. We relocate them, we bring them to our mother apiary, and then we also provide the service of bringing bees to your properties in case that you may want bees at your home. We also, from the help of the bees, have honey and lip balm and other things of that nature. But today, welcome guys to Ag Camp. You are going to be beekeepers today. So the first things first, as a beekeeper, what do you need? What was that? That you're absolutely correct, because I don't get in the bee field without protective gear. First things first is to have that gear. And anyways, let's jump right into it. Today, we'll show about the tools we have and just some different things about bees. All right, can I get any volunteers? Can I have, come on up. What's your name? Stella? All right, cool. Stella, so let me see. I have this soup for you. You can go ahead and put that on because a beekeeper needs to be safe, right? And Bennett, and what's your name? Griffin. All right, guys. So while Stella suits up, one of you guys want to suit up? This is for you, Bennett. So, guys, while they're suiting up, I'll tell you the purposes. And if you need help, just let me know. The purpose of a bee suit is to protect yourself and be confident in what you're doing when you're out there. Because what I had to learn was I moved too fast in front of the bees. I move absolutely too fast, and you want to slow down in front of the beehives. And as you see, they have, this here is a three-layer ventilated suit, so the wind will blow inside but also will protect you. This is a much simpler suit, just one layer here. But Mr. Griffin, if you could come here, I want you to help me inspect if these guys are all suited up correctly. So we gotta make sure you guys are suited up correctly. But the moment you guys get hot, y'all just let me know. But for the sake of learning, we want to make sure we're covered, because there's been times where I have gotten stung because I've had holes in my suit. All right, so Griffin, can you please help me? And let's go through first Stella's suit to see if there's any errors. Okay, do you see anything wrong? And if you don't know, cool, we'll go through it together.
The neck is not zipped up.
All right, yeah, you will want to zip. Can we turn to everyone? You will want to zip up all the way, because the bees, they're going to find a way to get in. Is there anything that you can note? Well, before we move over to him, you also don't have any gloves. There's gloves on the counter. Can you notice anything with Bennett? Seems like Bennett got, well, Bennett's ankle is showing. So if you guys are in the bee yard, the apiary, you want to make sure you have on long socks and long boots. Otherwise, your ankles will be swollen up and that won't be good. You guys are suited up perfectly, so that's the first step of beekeeping. The second step is to have a smoker. Unfortunately, I guess we left our smoker in the bee field today, but the smoker would be to calm the bees down. All right, and what you would put in there is maybe some grass. What do you put in your smoker?
We put a little bit of wood chips.
Yeah, wood chips, anything of that nature to pack the smoker, which is a process of puffing them just to cool them down. Now, while they're getting suited up, do you guys have any stories with bees yourselves?
I stepped on a dead one and it stung my foot.
It stung your foot and it was dead. Did you recover okay?
I was little.
Okay.
I was not happy. I was doing swimming, which is why I was barefoot. And I didn't go swimming because my foot hurt.
Yeah, I can understand. It is painful.
We have a natural 2-foot wide hive at my hunting place.
Okay.
They're really cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
How long is it your family who has been beekeeping?
Well, they don't beekeep, but it's just there.
Okay. Okay, cool. How long have they been there?
Like 5 or 6 years. But their hive is about this wide, so it's good to say.
Yeah, that's good. I want to say we have about 250 hives, something of that nature. We started in 2024. So this beekeeping, I have not always been introduced to beekeeping, but my father had the bright idea to take the whole family to bee school. And once I was suited up correctly, I got close to a hive, and then I realized I'm not afraid of bees like I thought I was, because prior to beekeeping and any knowledge of being around bees, I was swatting them and running like everybody else. But okay, they're still going. Anybody else have some bee stories? You have some gloves right behind you.
I didn't even see the glove.
Yeah. You have gloves behind you, and then also if you go into the bee field without any shoes on your feet, they're going to find a way to get up your suit. And this here is a photo of me holding a frame of bees. We made a trip to Hawaii last year to check out a bee farm, and of course, every apiary, which is also a bee farm, is going to look a little bit different wherever you go. You want to make sure, that you are moving at a slow pace. So I'm glad y'all didn't rush putting on your bee suit, because if you're moving fast with the bees, they're going to be looking to sting you. Are you done? All right, cool. Cool. Right. Okay, you make sure these guys in their first time out in the field is going to go smoothly. So can y'all spot out anything wrong with, first we're going to start with Liam. Okay, Liam, you step up. Liam, let's see. Is there anything that we can spot out with Liam? Okay. So she's absolutely correct. What she said was your gloves should come up a little bit, because if they're down, I'll tell you what happened. A bee will find its way in and they'll sting you right there in that area. But let's see. Let's inspect you pretty good. It seems like you are protected. I want to push this all the way down. Let's see your ankles. Is your ankles okay? All right. You're good to go. Let's give it a 360. Make sure it's zipped up in the back. Okay, Liam, you're pretty good. You're ready to go in the field. All right, Luke. All right, look, step in the middle a little bit here. Okay, y'all spot out what's going on with Luke. Anything wrong with Luke? Yeah, you're not zipped up at all, Luke.
Oh, I thought I zipped it all the way.
Yeah, Luke, you might have 5, 10, 15, 20 bees to come get your face. So we would want to zip Luke up all the way around. Make sure you're secure in there. And even when you feel like you're secure, you just want to double check, because there's been instances where I've been stung. The first time I got stung, guys, for when messing with bees and learning about them, was in my nose. Yeah, it was right here. It hurt for about 7 minutes. All right, there you are. Let's see, make sure you're all good. Can't be having no errors going in the field. Your ankles seem to be good. Now let's see, put your hands out. Y'all notice anything? Go like this. Anything wrong?
Oh, kind of right there.
Yeah, a bee gonna get you. So you would want to, Liam here, you would want to have your gloves pulled up over that, or you can, what you could do with these specific gloves, you can put them over that way. And some suits are very different, but you could use this and put it on your thumb. that way, and then put your glove over it just to provide a little bit more security and protection for you. So now that you guys are suited up, how confident do y'all feel? Confident? All right. Feeling good? All right. How y'all feeling? Is it hot in there? Is it cool?
Pretty hot.
Now imagine it's a Saturday, 85 degrees. Weather is saying it's 85 degrees. Sun is out, no chance of rain. What do you guys think the temperature will be inside the suit?
92.
Okay, what about you?
95.
All right, you said 100, right? It can be anywhere from 100 to 135 degrees. And you guys are more than welcome to take this off. But wearing a bee suit will not only protect you, but it will help you get through the day a whole lot smoother than not having it on. Because like I said earlier, bees do recognize faces and shapes. All right, so thank you guys for that. And now that you guys, Luke and Liam, now that you are almost professional in your day of learning how to be a beekeeper and becoming a beekeeper, we're going to go through the biology as soon as they finish. All right, you guys can take that off if you're hot. Y'all hot? Can you guys guess if you're wearing this in a 70 to 75 degree weather, how hot it may be? Can you guess what the degrees might be? 103? Okay. What about you? Okay. 95? Cool. Okay. 90? That's a good start. But it's actually 135. 135. It may get really, really hot out there. So if you are in the bee field, just be prepared. And so, Griffin, while you're here and while you guys are getting undressed, what I want you to do next is everyone grab a frame. We're gonna start with this table first, but I want everybody to grab a frame, and this frame will go into our bee box here. I just want to show you guys the setup of what it would look like to have a full bee box. I'll take that for you. So, Griffin, first thing first, can you help me by putting this box flat on this stand here? We're gonna scoot this back. So just grab it. There you go, and then put it flat. All right, Griffin. And first things first, I would like you to bring your frame here and place it in a box. And then after that, you'll help me out in a little bit. So the goal here is to fill up the box with frames. So you just set it in here, and I'll hold it so it won't spin. But you want to fill up your box with 10 frames here. And if you had a feeder, which sometimes we have to supplement the feed of what the bees eat, because at the end of the season, there's no flowers. But in this case, we're going to put 10 frames in the box. And so just put it in how you think it should go.
I don't know.
Like this. Like this. So actually, you had it the correct way. I'm going to turn it back. Oh, turn it back that way. And then, so you guys can come put your frame in the box as well. All right, ladies, your turn. Can y'all put y'all's frame in the box? And we are missing a couple of frames, so thank you. We're going to fill this up so the bees can do what they do best and make honey. But that's not the only thing that bees do. All right, so Griffin, your job is to make sure, 10, cool. Your job is to make sure they're equally spaced. That tool over there is called a hive tool. Ladies, you have one as well if y'all want to pass that around. This is a hive tool. Y'all want to pass that around? This is basically a crowbar to help a beekeeper get into its, you guys can pass that around. We have another one here. Get into its hive. This is like a beekeeper's best friend. So even though an iPhone is our best friend because it helps us get home, it helps us keep up with our calendar, really everything. It's our mini computers. This right here is a beekeeper's best friend, hive tool. All right, Griffin, you're going to use this hive tool and make sure our frames are equally spaced. And you'll just do that by this. I'm going to show you. You're going to probe it just a little bit, and I'll let you do the rest. So while you're making sure they're equally spaced, there you go. Cool. Exactly. All right. So you guys tried on a bee suit. That's one of the main things that you need to be safe in the bee yard. Then you have your bee box, and you also have your frames. Okay. Once you have that and your hive tool, then you'll put on your nice covering. You'll have your lid. And so this this lid technically goes over a smaller box. For the sake of learning, we'll have it like that. And this is what a beehive will look like in your yard. And you want to have it propped up so that things in the grass, or if the grass is moist, you have an opportunity to protect the bees at best. And guys, right here, can anybody tell me what this is? Eggs? Good guess. This is wax, yes. And so bees make honey, wax, propolis. Let's see, we have some propolis on here. There's propolis right there. Y'all want to pass that around? I'll let y'all look at that. Can y'all guess how many bees have visited that one frame alone? 1,000, yeah. Here's this for you guys. Y'all can pass that around and look at that. Yeah, thousands of bees, maybe even 10,000 or more have visited that one frame alone. And so out of every third bite that we eat, bees help it. Bees help us. So without the bees, we wouldn't even have the delicious foods that we have, or the fruits and vegetables. A couple of fruits that bees help pollinate is watermelons. Anything else that y'all think bees help pollinate? Yep, flowers are the main thing. Bees are foraging on flowers, and that's where they get their nectar, and then they bring it back in a hive. So, how is honey made? Do you know?
I think so.
Okay.
They'll take the nectar
Mm-hmm.
and they bring it to the hive, right?
Yep.
And I think I know after something they put it into the honeycomb.
Yeah, you're on a good track. So bees go out and collect nectar. And so before honey is honey, it's nectar. And what that means is it's a watery substance that they pull from outside of the hive. And then once they get inside of the hive, they put it into these cells here. They put it into these cells, and bees go through a process of, the bees go out into the field, they get the nectar, and they come back into the hive here, and they regurgitate the nectar, and in the hive, they put it in the frame, and it goes through a process where bees fan. They fan their wings. And once that fanning is complete with this wax as well, it gets capped off, and once it's capped off, then us humans, we know that it's ready. Ladies, how do you know honey is ready when it's in the frame?
When it's capped off.
Yeah, but how could you test that?
Color?
Yeah,
Brown?
yeah. All right, so you know honey is ready when you have this tool here. And this is called a refractometer. And I'll let you guys look at it in just a moment. But basically, you put your eye in here, and you want to place just a little honey on here. This will indicate whether the honey is ready to eat. And so I'll let you guys pass that around, a refractometer. All right, I'll pass this to you, ladies. In learning about bees, we mainly hear about what bee? What kind of bee? Honeybee, yes. These are honeybees. Everything that we raise on our apiary is honeybees. And we typically hear about the queen bee, how important she is. But do you guys know who actually takes care of the queen bee? Yeah, the worker bees. The worker bees ensure that the queen's health is top tier. And they make sure that she's young enough and viable to lay, that her pheromone, which is her smell. Sometimes, ladies, we got to keep us a favorite perfume on us. So that's the same case for a queen bee. The worker bees are the one feeding her, grooming her, taking care of her. And then we have drone bees. We don't hear about drone bees a lot, but drone bees is what you male guys would be. So males are drone bees. And those guys, sad to say, can y'all ladies guess what they do? Yeah, nothing. Well, they do one thing, one important job. They mate with the queen. They make sure that the life of future bees can continue to be present. But here's a fun fact. If a queen is ever not present in a hive, worker bees, which are the female bees, they can lay eggs too, but they won't be able to make a queen bee. They just will be able to make just a regular bee. And it's when they feed the bee royal jelly and nurture it in that way. Royal jelly is something else that the bees make. When they feed it royal jelly, then that's when many days later, the queen she has come about. And so you got the queen bee, you got the worker bees, and then you got the drone bees. Those are the three bees that are in the hive. And which bee makes the honey? Yeah, you guys already know. And other than those 3 bees that are in the hive, we have a couple of other things that are in the hive. Of course, you got the wax, and then you would have, do we have, oh, let's show them this video. Let's see. So we are in the peak of bee removal season. I'll let you guys watch it.
What started as a few bees on the outside was a full colony hidden inside the stone wall. We used the thermal camera to detect the heat of the hive, so we cut exactly where they are. Precision matters. One wrong cut here, and we destroyed the whole colony. Yes, baby, that is bees. We slowly vacuum the bees. No rushing this part. The goal is to keep them calm and intact. Then we remove the comb piece by piece. It's now time to find the queen. She's usually hiding in the brood where the future bees, pollen, and honey are. Our queen was found with a full colony of bees, and now it's time to relocate. And that's a bee removal with Farmer Brown & Co.
Was there anything that you noticed that I said that was in the hive from that video?
The different parts of the hive.
Yeah. You would see some honeycomb. You will see brood. You will see eggs. You'll see larvae. And those just a couple of things that are in the hive as well. So it's important for a queen bee to be very viable and healthy so that there's eggs in there, because when there's eggs in there, then you have new worker bees that will go out into the field. When you have new bees to go to work out in the field, then they come back and then they're making honey. That's a productive hive. If the queen is ever not right, if there's ever a problem with her, the whole colony could leave this box, swarm, and go somewhere else to someone's home. And this is a picture of honeycomb and bees, I want to say relocating, so going inside of the box. All right, out of all the jobs of a bee, a drone, and a queen, which job do y'all think is the hardest?
Probably the worker.
Worker, why you say that?
Maybe I think the queen.
Why you say that?
Actually, I think the worker.
Okay, but why did you say the queen?
Because she has to do a lot of work too. Maybe.
Yeah, she's literally laying eggs all day. She's tired. I'm assuming she's doing that for all of her lifespan. Oh, and this right here, ladies, can you tell me what do you see in this picture? Okay. Do you know where the queen is? Mm-hmm. Okay, the really big thing. That's what you said? Yeah, that thing you're referring to is the abdomen. So before we go deeper into this photo, because there's a problem in this photo, before we go deeper, I want to address the honeybee, which is also the Apis mellifera. All right, so you have the abdomen. That really big thing that she said is the abdomen. When you spot a queen, you can almost guarantee it's the queen if her abdomen is really big. You see, it's really big. And then the bees have this thing called spiracle on their bodies. Did y'all, hold on, before I tell you, do you guys know where a bee breathes through? We breathe through our mouths and our nose. What do bees breathe through? What do y'all think? Yeah? Abdomen. Well, tell me something. There you go. And then we have our hind wing, our forewing, and our thorax, which is right in the middle. Our ocelli, which is the eye, or ocelli, the compound eye, the antenna, the head, mandibles, and the leg. And the proboscis, which I'm going to touch on in just a minute, why the proboscis is important. This one here? Yeah. This mite here has the power of destroying the whole hive. I'm talking about to where you'll see a hive, and you go back to looking at it, and it's completely gone. There will be no bees, no honey. There will be nothing. Because just like we love honey, other insects love honey too. And that mite, you want to make sure you're on top of it. And so, guys, when we first started beekeeping, it was such a trial and error for us, because not only was our hives not propped up, elevated off of the ground, but we also had a piece of plastic under our hives. We were thinking, okay, we want to have something underneath the hives. But what we quickly learned is that underneath the tarp that we had our bees on collected moisture, and that moisture then collected insects. And anytime it rained or any type of a weather change, the insects thought it was perfect to enter our hive. So We quickly learned that you have to stay on top of mites and other insects because they like honey as well. We learned that you want to elevate your bee box, get it up off the ground, make sure that there's a nice wind on it, not too much wind, but a cool breeze. Make sure that the hive is facing a little bit of sunlight so the bees can have that as well, just like we need it. And a water source. So wherever you have your bees, you want to make sure they have a water source, because those two stomachs that I was referring to earlier, we drink water. I'm pretty thirsty right now. Bees need water as well. And so if you guys in your backyard or front yard have a little place where you can put a bowl out for some bees or something like that, that'll be cool. And so, Henry, you can play this video. What is this? All right, and so yes, as you guys can see, this is a queen bee being released into the colony for the first time. So she's meeting all the worker bees for the very first time. And it's pretty productive, as you can see, because if there was a problem if they did not accept her, she probably would die. But for the sake of that video, it was very, very productive. The white thing on her back was a marker. It was a dot to recognize her more easily. So some people have a pretty cool, fast way of finding bees, but me, myself, it honestly takes me some time. I'm one of those persons where there's the queen. Nope, that's not her. And so it takes me some time, honestly, to find the queen. But Henry, he has an eye where he can find it in a second. Even if the bee was to fly, the queen bee was to accidentally fly up, if she was to go anywhere, Henry would be able to spot it really quickly. He just can do that. And so what this is right here, the bees are communicating. Their abdomen is faced up in the air while their noses are down. And so in this case, what they're doing is releasing pheromones. So yes, the queen bee has a pheromone that the whole entire colony responds to. Okay, the Nasonov gland is where the worker bees, they can release a pheromone as well to let everybody else know this is where we are. We're no longer here in this tree or this home, but we're here. And so they will then, from that smell alone, register everyone to come here.
On a bee, you have 3 different segments, right? The first one, can anybody take a wild guess what it would be? The head. We have the head, the... So this is, it starts with a T. Thorax. Yeah. Yeah, so we have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And so the abdomen is, of course, where the stinger is, okay? And then the wings. And this is a trick question. How many eyes do a bee have?
Multiple.
Who said 5? You're correct. So they have.
They have one right here.
Yeah, how do you know?
Because when I observe wasps, they have little eyes in the back.
Exactly. You're a smart guy. And so, yes, he's absolutely correct. They have 3 eyes, which are called simple eyes, on the top of their head. And the purpose of those simple eyes is they basically, with a lot of mathematics, use the degree angle of the UV rays as a GPS for where home is. So that's how they can go out 5 miles away from their hive, collect the nectar, and come right back to right here with the simple eyes. You're pretty smart. So it's called propolis. Propolis. I'm sure y'all may not, he may have. But what propolis is, you see this brown stuff right here? Y'all see that? What this is, they basically collect that from trees, pine trees. Y'all ever seen the sap on the trees? They basically take the sap of the tree and they use it like glue. So if y'all look on y'all's frames, let's see. You see this stuff right here?
Yes.
That's where they were glued together. You see it? All on the inside right here.
Smart little guys.
Yeah, this right here. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yes, so that's propolis. That's the glue of the hive. So the fun fact about the bees, what do you think? What kind of bee is this? The queen bee. The queen bee. Okay, now what kind of bee is this one? The worker bee. So this is a drone bee. Now, y'all probably have never in your life seen a male bee, right? Y'all have never seen that before, huh? The only purpose of this hive, they're not going to be landing on you at lunch. They're not going to be in your back swimming in your pool and stuff. The only purpose of this bee right here is to go to the tops of trees and wait for the key. Go to the queen bee. Wait for freshly hatched queen bees to fly by, and they'll basically, it's like a race. All the drone bees from the other hives, whether they're in trees, boxes, they're gonna all congregate at the top of the tree. When they fly by, whoever could catch the queen the fastest has the right to spread the genetics of whatever hive that the drone comes from. And once they win that race, that is the end of their life.
Wow.
They have the shortest lifespan in the hive. What are, just as a refresher, what are the three types of bees? We have the, wait, I'm gonna have to hear some, everybody together. We have the, we have, and, all right, I think y'all got it. So did y'all know that actually the queen in every single worker bee that you've ever seen is a female? Yeah, so every single worker bee that you see and have ever seen is a female. So girls rule the hive, unfortunately. Do the worker bees fertilize the eggs? Remember how I said that the drone's only purpose is to, as M said, mate and die? Whenever she does that, basically, whenever she's not mated, her abdomen will be half as long as this. Whenever she is mated and she's back to the hive, that's whenever you get that long abdomen. Can we go to the other queen picture? There we go. And that's whenever you get that long abdomen whenever she is fertilized. So whenever she's fertilized, she could last or live up to 4 years. On average, all these other bees only last 40 days. That's a month and 10 days. And so, but in that 40 days, that means they visit over 1,000 flowers. So just, that's a lot of work for a short life. But in this picture, I do want to touch on another subject. Y'all see that brown circle right there?
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a tick or a leech the size of this box on you like this. Just taking your blood, just taking all the stuff that you need. A Varroa mite. Yeah, so this is called a Varroa mite. You see how big it is? That's pretty big compared to the bee. So if this population of Varroa mite, and by the way, they actually hide in these are baby bees. They hide in these baby eggs, and the bees cap them over, not seeing them, and then that's how they actually grow. If those become outnumbering the bees, they will actually collapse the whole hive, and that's the end of the hive. Did y'all know that?
If you're removing a hive,
Mm-hmm.
could you get a bunch of those bromites,
Mm-hmm.
just put them on there and then collapse the hive?
So the collapse actually takes a process of, it takes about 30 days because that will be killing the hive. Totally getting rid of it. Whenever we're removing the hive, we're getting all of the bees alive. And then we're putting, can you show them the video of the vacuum box? Oh, show them this picture first.
Which one?
This one. So this is what it looks like whenever you have bees in your house, basically. This is all going to be in there. And then basically we're going to take, can you show them the vacuum box? We're going to take, this is the vacuum cleaner, right? And we're basically going to vacuum up all the bees. And that process could take anywhere from 4 hours to 12 hours in the day. So it's a lot of days that I'm out at 2 a.m. still getting stung while everybody's sound asleep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you just put the queen in a space, put it in another space, and then the bees will follow it?
Can you show them that?
Oh, yeah.
Right here. Oh, and this is a good example of how bees will do whatever they want. We give them this big old mansion of a hive. Where do they just come out and make their hive? On the bottom. Yeah, so whenever you can finally catch the queen bee. So bees basically are a super organism. Can y'all say that? Super organism. Do anybody know what a super organism is? In a way, it is like Superman.
An
You're basically correct.
Do they have a hive mind?
Exactly. So super connected, hive mind, Superman, all of that is correct. So basically, what a super organism is, that means that there's one executive function. Do y'all know what that means? That there's one brain.
Oh, the queens.
The queen. That's why there's only one queen in a hive, right? So there's only one queen controlling 50 to 80,000 worker bees. She's laying 1,500 to 2,000 eggs per day. That's a lot of eggs. I haven't even did nothing of 2,000 in a day. But yeah, so whenever we can catch the queen bee, because they're a super organism, we put the brain or the queen inside of this new hive, and then they will also start to fan her pheromone around in the air. And that's how all of the worker bees will start to get in the box and transfer. Can you show them the other video with the vacuum cleaner? And I'll show you what it looks like when they start running. You see how they're running in there? That's because they have fanned enough with all this in the air that they now know that the queen is in there. That's why they're running out like that. Yeah. Whenever you have a hive that's been removed from the house and they're in the box now, right? And now it's time to get to the honey making, right? That's where these come into play. And this, and the pokey tool, and the crowbar, and the suit, and the gloves. I want to show y'all. So whenever all the bees fill up the frames, this is what it's then going to look like. Okay? Y'all want feel it.
Smells.
Feel it.
Ooh. Is there honey in there?
It was. I just extracted it for
A
y'all.
little piece.
Now, one thing that I want to show
I
y'all.
want to squish it.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is it made of?
It's wax, beeswax.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's what they use
Are
to
you
make
gonna
the
make a candle
nest.
with this?
No, so whenever they're on the frame, that I can't really. I will have to scrape it off, and it just breaks it.
This stick.
Wait,
Yeah,
there's
it-
still stuff in here.
I know, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. So whenever this is full of honey, you basically go through just this, and you're basically just going to pick off all the tops to uncap that honey. Y'all want to try?
Yes.
Okay, y'all can pass that around. And so where does all of this come from? All that wax? On the underneath of their abdomens, they have what's called a wax gland. You know how sometimes when we get a cold or how your mouth produces saliva? In the same way, a bee can produce wax. And basically, from the wax glands, they'll get the wax with their leg and do this motion and scrape it off and chew it. And then that's how they do all this.
Wait. So this is
Okay.
basically just regurgitated pollen?
No, because it comes from the underneath. But this pollen right here is actually fermented. Did you know that in order
Oh boy.
in order to preserve the pollen so it doesn't go bad, bees will actually take this stuff right here. Y'all see that?
Where is that?
It's pollen. And they'll take that pollen, and they'll mix it with bee saliva. So what you're holding is bee saliva, pollen, and a little bit of honey, and that's called bee bread.
I've eaten it before.
of you
No.
I did.
a bee suit in bees.
Can you show them a picture of the? Just go. Let me show them.
Yeah, so it's important as a beekeeper to have all your equipment. And since we have already touched on the safety gear that you need, you want to make sure you have your box. Now, as a beekeeper, this is where we would have our bees to live. And what you guys see in front of you, can y'all look at that and inspect what you guys have? Can anybody guess what that is sitting in front of you? Yes, that is a place where bees would store honey. We call that a frame. So all of you guys have a frame. In just a moment, I'm going to have you guys help me build a hive so you know exactly how a hive should look when you're beekeeping. But before we get there, we're going to focus on the biology of the bee. Does anybody know the scientific name of a honeybee?
I know the family. Hymenoptera.
Okay. The specific name for a honeybee, the scientific name, is Apis mellifera, aka honeybee, as we know it. Yes, so this is the anatomy of the honeybee. Do you guys know what this is here? Not quite. This is the abdomen. What happens in the abdomen? Okay, cool. And then also, this is where the stinger lives. The stinger lives in the abdomen. So we have the abdomen, the spiracle, and what are these guys? Wings. Correct. All right. And then we have the leg, the mandible. Oh, well, I'm skipping around. We have the wings. And then what is this area? Y'all said it earlier. Starts with a TH. Thorax. Cool. So that is the middle of the bee. And then we have this area here. We have the head, the ocelli, which is the eye, and then we have a compound eye. Can anybody guess how many eyes do bees have? 5. Yes. Yeah, bees have 5 eyes. So not only do they have the eyes here, but they have eyes on their head as well. And then they have the antenna, the head as we said, and the main 3 parts of the beehive. We said a lot of parts. I'm sorry. The main 3 parts of a honeybee is the head, the thorax, and what's the last part, guys? Abdomen, right. All right. So now that we know the biology of a queen bee, we can go ahead and focus on the 3 different kind of bees in a hive. Do y'all know? Well, you just gonna tell all of it. Yeah, here, this is for you. Worker, drone, and queen. That's good. Absolutely correct. So, as she mentioned, the 3 different kind of bees, we're gonna start here. What kind of bee is this, guys? Queen? Who said that? Good job. Queen. And as you can see here, we just learned about the biology of the bee, and we see that the queen bee has a much larger abdomen than everyone else. So if you're ever out in a situation where you see a swarm of bees and you come across a bee that looks a lot bigger, you might see the queen. And this bee, what bee is this? Worker bee, right. This is our drone bee. With the queen bee, you can see her abdomen. And then a way to tell the drone bee, it's a lot bigger, yes, but the eyes on the head of the drone bee is a lot bigger. So that'll help you in differentiating the 2. But have you guys ever seen a drone bee? You probably won't see a drone bee because drone bees are somewhere in a tree. Their main job is to find a new queen. So we would call her a virgin queen. We would find her and mate and reproduce. And then you would have genetics that further grow the colony. So 9 times out of 10, you won't see a drone bee. But what kind of bees would we see on a day-to-day basis? Worker bees, right. We'll see a worker bee. Okay, so like I said, what were the 3 kind of bees that make up a colony here? Okay, you guys are on it. Cool. You guys got it. So now that you guys know a little bit of what to wear, a little bit of what tools you need, next tool is can y'all guess what this is? That is a function of it, yeah. It's called a hive tool. This hive tool is a beekeeper's best friend, hence why you have pockets. And also another tool that we use, there is a vacuum. So if you're wondering, how did you guys actually take the bees with you? We vacuum them up, and then they go into that box there. That's called a vacuum box. And so that's their temporary place to be until we transfer them to our mother apiary. Yeah, and so here you can see the bees are transferring into the box. So earlier when I was talking about the different bees that make up a colony of bees, I focused on 3. The drones, the queen, and the workers. Do you guys know how the bees know to go into this hive? Yes, absolutely correct. They do follow the queen. There is a fragrance I want to use, for example, that the bees know to follow the queen, and it's called pheromone. The bees will release a smell. The queen bee herself, she releases a pheromone, and all the worker bees, they follow. And this specific video, just loading, I guess, okay? This specific video, you can see the bees have their abdomen pointed in the air and their faces down. Why do y'all think that? Yes, so pheromone is being released to communicate with the bees where they are now going to go. They're no longer going to live in that tree or that house, but they're going to be transferred into this box, which is what you guys see. And this process here, guys, we call that reorienting. If you ever see bees in a position like this, they're almost going in, but they're not in yet. They're flying around. They're reorienting. They're getting ready to be established in their new home. All right. Now that you guys have learned that, I want to ask you some questions. Okay. This is a game. It's called Do Bees Have Superpowers? What kind of superpowers do y'all think bees have? Flying? I wish I could fly. Making honey, right? So, superpower number 1. This is how bees communicate. Can anybody guess how bees communicate? A little dance. Do you know what they do? Do you know what they do? So, we're going to show you a video of the waggle dance. So, these ladies are right. The bees communicate by the waggle dance. And here you can see those bees just wiggling. Now, why you ask, why would a bee want to communicate with one another? For one, there's plenty of resources out there. There's plenty of pollen out there. So a bee would want to tell another bee, hey, come to this area. It's very rich, and we can bring it back to our hives. So this is what you call a waggle dance. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next superpower. How fast do you think bees fly? This is a good one. 45. Okay, that's a little fast. Okay, 45 and 35 is a little fast. Okay, what is your guess? Yeah, you're spot on. A bee can travel up to 15 miles per hour. All right, let's see. Now when it comes to the food we eat on our plate, we got to give a huge shout out to the bees. 1 out of every 3rd bite that we take, of course, comes from who? Bees. They help us. They pollinate the world. They pollinate the foods that we eat. What kind of foods do you think that bees pollinate? Of course, they do pollinate plants. What kind of fruits? Okay, let's see. Do you think bees pollinate blueberries? Yes. How about strawberries? Do you guys like walnuts? Or do you guys, like almonds? Yes. Almonds? Yeah. Those are some of the things that bees pollinate. And if it was not for the bees, we probably would be very, very, very hungry.
That bee right there, what's the white thing on its head?
Good question. Can you zoom out a little? All right. This right here is a colony of bees, and a queen bee is being released for the first time. And that white dot that you asked about, that is a marker to indicate the queen bee. I want to share something with you guys. Do you think that all bees have stingers? What happens when a worker bee stings? Not a drone bee. Yeah. So all bees don't have stingers, not drones. But a worker bee, when it stings somebody, what happens? Yeah, it dies. What about, did you guys know a queen bee has a stinger as well? What happened when she stings? She doesn't die, but a queen bee is only going to use her stinger when there's another competition of a possible queen bee in the hive. If she has to fight, it's fight or death. A queen bee will use her stinger to kill another queen bee in the hive because what they say, the survival of the fittest. And so that's when a queen would use her stinger. But yes, worker bees, they do die, unfortunately, when they use their stingers, and drones do not have stingers. Right here, guys, is when bees want to make their way into a home. And then you will call a beekeeper to relocate. Then you will call Liam and Luke. And so this right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of honeycomb. Let's see. Now, in this video here, this is when you have a bee box to put your bees, but bees just gonna do what bees are gonna do. They're gonna build outside. This is when you can see an overflow of bees. That's why it's very important to have adequate amount of space in the hives and adequate amount of bee boxes, especially in a time like now, spring and summer, because if you don't stay on top of managing, the bees will build where they want, and they'll go where they want, and they'll even leave the entire colony in itself. So you want to make sure they got some space. All right, Stella. So is it okay if you eat this? This is raw honey. Okay, Stella, I'm going to cut this open for you. And so as I was referring to earlier, the proboscis is basically a long spout where the bees suck up honey. And here, it's your honor. I want you to pretend like this is your proboscis and let us know how the honey tastes. Thank you. Pretty good? It's sweet.
But everybody come over here so we have enough time to get some honey.
It's so strong.
Yeah, it's very strong. This is not what you buy from the store. This is straight from the hive.
Are they able to eat it?
Yes, of course.
Wait, we can,
I'm going to give you some fresh honey.
wait, we can keep it?
Yeah. So we're going to take one container and pass it back, okay? Making sure everyone gets one. Hey, you might need to give her my phone number so I get it to you.
How are we gonna sell it?
I'm going to show you. Can I show you? Everybody take their lid off like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our honey bear like this, and we're just going to hold it steady. Just that. You see how you do it? You got the key is to cut it off before you make a mess. And whenever you're done, scrape it on the edge like that. And the next person, here, you put your lid on.
Everything home at the end of the day, so we're gonna put it over here. Bella has a sticker for your names, and then we'll put them on the table.
Can I add this?
Huh? There we go. Oh, you might want to get it before it goes over. Yeah, there you go.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So when the eggs are hatching,
Uh-huh.
you said the whole hive is like girls and just one boy. How do they make sure there's only one drone? Do they outcast the extras?
So there's many drones. There's only one queen. So there's in the springtime, in the fall time, it basically fluctuate. In the peak of spring, there's gonna be a lot of them. And whenever all the flowers are done and all the season shifts, all the worker bees will basically kick all of them out. Every single one of them. And then in the fall, it'll happen again. You ready?
Oh my gosh, this is so magical.
This is straight from the hive, y'all. Yes, sir.
Wait, when?
Thursday.
It's because there's some honey that have a.
Today's Monday, so last Thursday.
Yeah,
this week
There you go.
The honey's fake because it tastes different.
Yeah, it is fake. But it really is fake. It's corn syrup.
But this is real honey.
Oh, yeah, it's straight from the hive. You seen it actually came from that frame you was holding. True or false? There are 5 different castes of honeybees. Caste meaning, and the rules is whenever you say true, put your hands on your head, and false, hands on your hips. Okay? So I'm gonna go around the table. True or false? Are there 5 different castes of honeybees in a hive? Meaning different purposes. For instance, the queen bee is a caste of bee.
The different rules.
Yeah, the different rules. So there's 5 different ones. True or false? False. You're correct. How many are there? 3. You're right. True or false? Let me think. Do bees communicate through a dance? Do bees communicate by dancing? True or false?
I don't think so. That wasn't brought up.
Oh, we didn't talk about that? Well, I'm gonna give that to you. So, fun fact. They do. It's called the
dance move, the bee dance. They do when they get pollen.
Yeah. Can you show them the waggle dance? It's called the waggle dance. And so basically, they'll go in the hive after figuring out a new source, and they'll get their abdomens nice and ready, and they'll do like this. That's the waggle dance, y'all. Huh?
How is it?
Good question. So another queen bee is born whenever the first queen bee lays the eggs in a cell, and so the worker bees, they have a gland right here on their head that secretes wax. It's called royal jelly. It's not wax. It's royal jelly.
I know about
And so they'll
over the egg, right?
they'll put royal jelly over the egg, and whenever it's basically full, the larvae that hatches from the egg eats all of that and becomes a queen bee.
I heard that bees can tell from other bees from another hive.
Yep.
They enter.
Mhm.
Something's like attack.
Yes, and heat them up. Yeah, so that's the Japanese honeybee that does that. And yeah, they can tell different bees that are trying to walk in because of the pheromone that's on them from their queen bee. So every queen bee has its own unique pheromone, like an ID card. Yeah, scent. Whenever a honeybee stings, does it die? So this is the question. Whenever a honeybee stings, any kind, drone, worker bee queen. Whenever it stings, do all honeybees die when they sting? True or false? Y'all are wrong.
I knew it.
The correct answer, it is false. Simply because when a queen bee, so whenever the hive is trying to make a new queen bee, they're gonna hatch multiple queen bees at one time. There could be 3, it could be 10, depending on the strength of the hive. But when the first queen bee hatches, she's gonna go and uncap the other queen bees and sting them on the side, so that because there can only be one queen. And so whenever she stings them, fortunate for her, she doesn't die. That is false. True or false? Honey never spoils.
True.
You're correct. Honey never spoils. Do y'all know why?
Why?
Because it's not really stuff that you can.
It can
So-
become like a solid, but then you can boil it again and it can be
Turn back into
Because
a
it's not growing, it's mixed.
Does it look like sugar crystals eventually?
Mm-hmm. So basically what y'all are saying, y'all are thinking about crystallized honey. Yes, so honey crystallizes, and that doesn't mean that the honey is spoiled. But the reason honey does not spoil is actually because the bees, whenever they're making it from nectar, they actually take out all of the water content except for 18.1%. The pollen. Yes, and so the beekeeper comes along, and this is probably going to be the last thing we could pass around. Whenever the honey water content is pulled out, that's whenever I come along. I get a little sample on my tool right here, and I'll dip it just like that, right? And pretend this is honey, y'all. And then I'll basically put it on this tool, and this tool right here, I'm going to pass it around. You can see on the inside, it'll tell you how wet the honey is. So in the event that it's above 18.1% water, the honey will spoil. But as long as I'm doing my job correctly and the bees are doing their job correctly, honey never spoils because it's antimicrobial and the water content is at a correct percentage.
18.1%.
Yes, 18.1%. And that's it. That's all the time we have, I believe. What do y'all think about bees? We learned something today?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
But you guys have learned so much. Are you guys ready to pour up some honey? All right. Well, before we do, this is a video of a swarm of bees landing in your garage. What would y'all do, honestly, if this was in your garage? Cry. So over here, we have a honey gate where our honey is in. And it's going to get a little messy. Let's see.
Come up here for some honey.
Yeah.
This the fun part.
Yeah, this is the fun part. I know y'all got a lot of info about beekeeping today. Ooh, it's a little messy on your hands. There you go. We can rinse it off after in one of those sinks. All right, and there is stickers over there, and you can label your honey. Okay, next person. All right. Yeah, just put your jar up under there just a little bit and stay right there. You gotta look. See, you gotta watch. The thing about honey is gonna run and pour. Yeah, and did you guys know that honey was found in ancient tombs? So that just goes to show you that honey has always been around and will always be around as long as we can help take care of bees. You guys get to take home some liquid gold with y'all. All right, we're gonna bring it forward just a little bit. Bring it down. The thing about honey, it can be a real sticky job, a sticky situation. There we go. Yeah. And you guys can rinse off your bee over there if in case a little honey drips on the side. In case you get a little sticky. Yeah, see, the thing about honey, you gotta focus. You gotta focus or it's gonna be everywhere. But being that you guys are beekeepers for the day, you can see how messy honey can be.
Now, on average, how much honey do y'all make a day?
In a day, this right here is, what we brung was 1 gallon, and that only came from about 3 frames.